And that was his prediction today. Mine is 20. Barbara's 22 degrees. I don't think it's going to get that high, to be honest with you. But maybe, just maybe, 20 degrees. There's still plenty of day to go yet. Monday, October the 12th. And I'm absolutely elated. Coming out of North Carolina, we're going to be joined by Casey Noel. But first of all, let's do this.
Galaxy.
And if you know what Barbara's all about, we better do this as well. Absolutely, she likes the action and the camera for sure. And for those of you that are joining us live on Facebook now, thank you very much for tuning in this morning. It's really a pleasure to be able to talk to you guys. But for those of you that are going to be joining a little later on in YouTube, you know what to do, right? Sub, thumb, bell, bingo. Got it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're going to be joined live by Casey Noel. Now, you know Casey Noel. You've been requesting her like crazy here at Galaxy. So let's kick it off with Seasons. So that still gives us a couple of minutes to get to know each other.
Yes, for sure.
Have you got a stiff drink? You might need one.
I have some water.
That's
That's or like gotten a glass of wine or something.
Oh my God.
Like here it's dinner time, pretty much.
Right. Well, you know, it's after 4:30. Yeah, it's after 4 o'clock. You're allowed to drink. I promise. Believe me, this is not going to be like the average 12 questions that everybody asks.
Love it.
This is more impromptu, and at the same time, it's all about having a bit of fun, informing our audio audience. We call them audio audience rather than fans. They're part of the Galaxy community. We like to have a bit of humour with everything. So if you feel like giving me a bit of stick, please do. Okay, because everybody is too polite.
All right.
They really are.
I'm gonna try and be as rude as possible. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man, I was almost excited then.
I can be sassy, but I won't be rude.
Right, okay. Well, you
Sassy's good.
Yeah, Sassy's good. We know a few North Carolinians, and I get on with
Sassy's
that kind of sassy. I love that. I really do. At the same time, actually, do you know a lady by the name of Michelle Lee?
I've heard the name, and I think maybe she might have been someone who went to this camp I went to, but not when I was there.
Right.
Because I got a scholarship to go to Frets and Refrains, a camp that Richard Thompson puts on.
Right.
And she might have been someone that went, and sort of there's like a group on Facebook. But the name sounds really familiar. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to talk to you more about Michelle because she's a legend in the music industry. 10-time Josie Award winner.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. And she sent
She's from North Carolina?
She's from
Yes,
North
she
Carolina.
is.
She's just down the road from you, literally. And she sent me alcohol.
That's so nice of her.
Yeah, out of the Appalachians, would you believe?
Really?
Yeah, she did. I'll tell you about that later in a minute too. But
Johnny.
let's go to the desk, and thank you for everybody that's joining us this morning. I'm so excited. I really am. Casey Noel is joining us, coming out of North Carolina, and we're going to talk about seasons very short.
And I guess these are just growing pains, but they go away. They go away. They go away. They go away. Oh, they go away. They go away. They go away. Oh.
107.
Galaxy FM, radio beats.
Radio Beats.
Galaxy FM.
It may only be 15 degrees outside, but it feels like it's about 30 inside here with all these computers and everything. It's really really hot. And getting hotter, actually, by the way, because Casey Noel is joining us coming out of North Carolina. Nice to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Now, I was told, just very, very quickly, that we didn't discover you. You discovered us.
Yeah.
That is rare. It doesn't happen that much. It really, really doesn't. But so glad that you reached out. I've been told it was actually coming through info at Galaxy. We got an email from you, passed on to the genius over here called Barbara, and before you know it, well, you're a member of the Galaxy family. Thank you for joining us.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
Well, we only play good music here at Galaxy, and believe me, we have a standard. We really do. We have a board that is interested in our image, and if it's below any standards, well, we'll pass on to somebody else. You know what I mean? Other than that, when we do find an artist much like yourself, as much talent as yourself, we like to be able to get behind these artists and promote as much as we can. So,
Well, thank you so much.
we kick the show off with Seasons. Tell me all about it. How did you come to the lyrics of Seasons?
Well, I think I wrote it probably about 2 years ago, and it was kind of just when I was sort of going through a rough time in my life, and I just was in a kind of depressed mindset. And I remember just thinking about how a lot of times when you're going through hard times, people are always like, it gets better, it'll be better, and like, I kept thinking about that, and it's one of those, when you're in those times, a lot of times you feel like you're stuck in them forever, but it is true. Seasons do change and times get better. So I kind of wrote it as like a little anthem of hope for myself, because I knew during the time I wasn't super happy and things were kind of crazy, but I knew that I would get to the other side of it. And that season would change to a much better one. So that's kind of the inspiration behind it.
Well, you've got all the women in here literally all nodding along with you going, yep, we fully understand. I think you got that down, actually. I think you got that right. Now, at the same time, Casey, I've got to ask you straight away, fan question for you is, how do we get in touch with you as a fan? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, Casey,
I am.
do you respond?
I do respond, yes, unless I don't see it for some reason. And then I don't respond, but I try to respond to everything.
you really shouldn't have said that. Fair enough. Yeah, you really shouldn't have said that. Nah, believe me, you're going to have another 5,000 Facebook fans. You'll be there all day.
Well, I would love that. I would love that.
You're the second person today to say that.
Yeah, if you search Casey Noel Music, it's Casey Noel Music on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find me through that.
Nice. Now, at the same time, Casey, do you have a website? Can we download music from your website?
I do have a website. If you search CaseyNoelMusic.com, you can find all the links to my music.
Nice.
And it should be on all streaming sites.
Awesome. Now, by the way, on your website, do you have a merch store?
I don't yet, because with everything going on with COVID, I think now I got some notification that I can go ahead and start getting merch, but with everything, I pretty much released right in the middle of it. I think I released June 12th, so that was pretty much, at least here, we were right in the middle of quarantining and all sorts of stuff. So a lot of the factories and stuff that obviously do CDs and t-shirts and all that were not in action, and everything's finally slowly starting. So not yet, but soon, and I'll definitely post about it when I do.
Very, excuse me, very, very cool. Now, having said that, and it has been rather surreal, well, it's been weird over the 2020. Who would have thunk about that, really? I mean, it came left field and affected the world. Literally, it was in a crisis there for quite some time. But normality is starting to feel like it's starting to come back again. It really, really is. We here in New Zealand, we're back at level 1, which is really, really cool. We've even had rugby matches. The All Blacks played over the weekend, which is really cool. That's our national sport, by the way. And we had people there. Absolutely stunning. So it's starting to feel... Yeah, it's starting to feel like maybe, just maybe, we're on the precipice of getting back to something called normal. You know what I mean? But right where you are right now, have you been writing a lot? Have you been recording more because of the COVID virus thing?
So, like the first couple of months, I think I was super overwhelmed, and it kind of like, I think at least my friends, other artists, they were either super inspired immediately and were writing, or they were like me, which was really overwhelmed, and because of that we weren't inspired. So I've just kind of started writing again, and I do have plans to go in the studio and record a song that I want to release as a single, because one of the songs I wrote I'm really, really excited about. But yeah, it's a weird time for sure. Now that I've processed things and stuff, I think my mind's freer to be creative. But at the start of it, I was like, well, I'm going to use this time to kind of take a break, because I'd been really working hard, and was about to release my EP and was listening to mix after mix of all of my stuff. And then when I was like, oh wow, we're going to be here for a really long time, then I was like, now I'm just overwhelmed. And now I'm back to the creative again, and yeah. But it's definitely been weird.
Nice. Now, you've been singing for a little while now, I got to be honest with you. But it took a little bit of prompting for you to become a songwriter, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me, who was your biggest influence there?
Well, I guess starting out, I didn't even, kind of just how I was raised, my family didn't really know about music, and so I think I kind of, when I started doing music, I never even thought about songwriting. So I remember when I started singing and playing and singing together, my guitar teacher was like, have you ever thought about writing a song? And I was like, no, I haven't. He's like, well, you should try it, because obviously this seems like something you want to do. So you should try it and see if it's something that you can do and you can do well, because it's really good if you can write your own music and you don't have to rely on someone else to do that. So I tried it, and it came sort of naturally to me, but it was also I was very timid about it, and I definitely didn't have confidence right off the bat. I think this EP has helped, and those all the songs on my EP are the songs that
Sorry about that, guys.
River Thompson puts on,
Internet.
and his son Teddy Thompson. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yes.
But he's awesome. But he did, they were all teaching, and I asked him, I was like, you know what, maybe if I just ask someone who is super unbiased and is doing well in the industry, their opinion on my music, I'll know. For me, that was the thing that I needed to hear. I needed to hear from someone else, and someone who was doing well in the industry. And so he said yes, and I played him Pretty Words, and I finished, and he looked at me, and he's like, that's a hit. And I was like, what? And he was like, that's a hit. And I was like, no. And he's like, no, I wouldn't change anything about it. And we talked about it, and after that, I was like, okay, if Teddy Thompson likes my song, I'm good. I can do it. So it's not like, now I finally have confidence in myself, and that's really spurred me onwards, because I've definitely been, it is a really, like, now I'm used to writing songs, but at the beginning it is a very vulnerable thing to do, and a scary thing to put your thoughts and feelings out for people to judge. So
I get it. I do. Believe me, I get it very, very much. Now, Marsh Girl, tell me about Marsh Girl, because I absolutely love this track. How did you come to the lyrics?
Thank you. It's probably my favorite track on the EP too. It was so much fun to record, and yeah, it was just fun. But there's a book out called Where the Crawdads Sing, and I read it maybe like a year and a half ago. And I love to read, but that was a book that a lot of books I don't really remember. But that was a book that as soon as I read it, I was like, wow, someone needs to write a song about that. And it stuck with me. And then a year later, I just randomly was sitting and I was writing something. And I was like, what am I writing about? Because I'm not someone, when I write, I don't typically like give myself any sort of like, I want to write about this topic and do that. I kind of just, when something pops in my head, that's how I go about it. I'm not as good at like an assignment. Some people are like want an assignment, like have people give them ideas or whatever, but that's just, usually it's like a line or something that comes to my mind. So I wanted to write a song about it, but I was like, we'll see. And then one day I just sat down and I started writing kind of that story, or at least kind of how it made me feel, and sort of about the main character. And that's how it came to be. So.
You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, live with Casey Noel and Marsh Girl. How you feeling? You okay?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm absolutely elated. I get the better deal. Unfortunately, you get to look at me.
Oh no, you're fine. This is fun. I hope like he can hear me when I'm talking. I like have this fear that like it froze again and I'm just talking and you're like, we can't hear you.
Yeah, it did freeze up again, but never mind. We can work with it because we understand. Okay. It'll catch up. It's just a little. That's rather funny, actually. It sounds really cool. It really does.
I did it on purpose, I guess.
Oh, there you go. There you go. She's tuned with the internet.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard about people like that. I literally have the Bible that has been given to you.
From my, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your heritage.
Yeah.
And that leading into your grandfather, and your grandfather giving you a guitar. I want to build up to that. Is that good with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Nice. Because some people just don't want to talk about their heritage. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm very proud of my heritage. So anytime people want to bring up Costa Rica and stuff, I'm excited to talk about it.
So how the hell did you end up in North Carolina?
Yeah. So my dad is American and my mom is Costa Rican. And she moved here when she was 4. And they got here because my grandfather in Costa Rica, the church that he went to, a missionary church kind of came to help. I think there was something going on with the building, and so they came to help with the building. And he really befriended my grandfather, and they got really, really close. And my grandfather had talked to him a lot about how he really wanted to come to America, because at the time he was a tailor and he wasn't making a lot of money, and he just wanted a better opportunity for his family. And so that guy happened to be from North Carolina, and he decided to help my grandfather, found him a job, found him a place to stay, helped him get all of his stuff in order, and all of my grandmother's stuff in order, and my mom's and stuff, so that they could come. And yeah, and they ended up in High Point, North Carolina, and that was that.
There's a song in there.
I know, for sure. I definitely want to write one about that. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. You've got the lyrics right there.
Yeah.
The whole picture's there. You just need to put the jigsaw together. Believe me, I think it would be a winner too. I do. Let's go back to the desk. That's right, you're right, here at Galaxy 107 FM, and I'm joined live by Casey Noel, coming out of North Carolina. But that's not where Casey's heritage started. It really, really didn't. Casey, tell me a little bit about Costa Rica. Tell me a little about Puerto Rico.
So my mom was born in Costa Rica, and I've had the opportunity to go there, how many times? Like 4 times, and it's probably my favorite place in the world. It's beautiful. The food is great. The people are great, and if you love nature, it's just the best place to be. But yeah, she moved here when she was is here, and so I've had a lot of that culture influence as well.
Nice, and sorry, we weren't making fun of you, but believe me, it was quite funny. You sort of froze up there again, gave it a little bit of a go. We will give you a copy of the video. We'll transpose it over into YouTube so that you'll be able to see it for yourself. But it's rather amusing, I've got to be honest with you. But the reason why I'm building up literally about Costa Rica is one of your biggest influences, somebody who shaped you in a music career, was your grandfather.
Yeah. He got me my first guitar when I was 5, and I started taking lessons from there. And growing up, and even now, he has always played music. Pretty much anytime you're in his house, all he wants to do is talk about music, play music. So I've always grown up with that love of music and how important music is.
Absolutely love that.
Sure.
I really, really do. But at the same time, I didn't really get a big feel for who your influences are. Who shaped you in the music industry? Who did you follow a little bit of?
Yeah. I have so many. I listen to so much music, but in terms of like older stuff, I love Simon and Garfunkel. I love CCR, Crosby, Stills and Nash. Currently, my favorites are I love Jason Isbell. I'm a big Brandy Carlisle fan. There's a new artist sort of on the Americana scenes. Her name's Yola. I really like her. But yeah, I listen to so much different music.
You know,
But I would say all of those.
I get it, I really, really do, because in there I could hear little influences here and there, but in the bio it just didn't tell me who really was one of the biggest influences in your music besides your grandfather. And I applaud your grandfather for taking that courageous move and giving you that guitar, because believe me, without that, Casey Noel, we wouldn't have heard of you, and we are so glad to be able to hear from you. And as I mentioned earlier on, we didn't find Casey. Casey found us, which is really, really fascinating. And I just got to ask you, how did you hear about Galaxy?
Honestly, I don't know if I was just looking around for different radio stations, because I think I found y'all because someone had told me, they were like, you should try sending your music to radio stations in New Zealand. They seem to really like a lot of the kind of stuff that you do. And I was like, I hadn't thought about that. And so I just stumbled across y'all's station, and I was like, might as well. Let's see. Who knows? Worst that can happen is they say no or say nothing, or they like my music and they play it. So,
well, you know, Casey, as I said to you earlier on, I'm finding that every morning that I do a breakfast show, Monday to Friday, more and more and more people are wanting, requesting, and demanding Casey Noel music. They really, really are. So, and I've got to let you know, this is more than pretty words. It's for real. Tell me about Pretty Words.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories about Pretty Words. Do you mean the song?
Yes, I
Or
mean,
not just Pretty Words, the title.
I thought it was
the title. You just nailed my whole reason for making that the title. It's not just that song and not just Pretty Words. But yeah, Pretty Words, I wrote, I think like 3 years ago, about a guy I dated, who was very good at just saying really nice things, and his actions didn't necessarily match those words. And at the time, I was really young, and so I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, he's the best," but then I'd be confused, and then I'd be like, "No, he's the best." But I ended up really brokenhearted, and I ended up writing that song. And I don't know if y'all are familiar with the show The Bachelorette. I don't watch it, but it's a popular reality TV show in America. Last year, the guy I wrote a song about was a contestant on the show and made it to like pretty much the finals, and it was pretty funny.
No, I don't watch it. She goes, no, but he was in it, and yeah, fair enough. And believe me, I thought it was a good segue too, by the way. Here is Casey Noel live with Pretty Words right here at Galaxy. So did you throw bricks at the TV set or what?
I didn't even watch it. I didn't care. It was 3 years after I had kind of forgotten about him, and then a friend of mine sent me a screenshot of her TV and like promos, and she's like, is that what I think it is? And I was like, oh my gosh. Yes, it is.
Believe me, Casey, there is women out there all around the world that tune in just to hate me because they're ex-girlfriends. But guess what? They tune in just to hate me.
Yeah, that's what matters. That's what counts.
Exactly. Some of my biggest fans are my haters. If you
It's
think
amazing. There's lots of people that take the time to say negative things to other people, but at the same time, they're taking the time out of their day to watch whatever content that they don't like. So it's like,
exactly.
at the end, it's still helping out.
And to critique it, believe me, that's amazing. You know? So I love that. And I applaud anybody that wants to be somebody who hates me. Continue! Keep it up! Do it! Love me to bits as far as hating goes, because believe me, you talk about me all the time, and I really appreciate that. I do. So, Casey, have you ever thought about when the COVID virus is over and done with, would you like to travel down this way?
I would love to. New Zealand is actually somewhere I've always wanted to go.
Okay, let's talk about that.
I would love to.
A better man will come along. You'll forget the ones you love. A better man will come along. You'll forget the ones you love. Galaxy FM.
Pretty words. Absolutely pretty words. They really, really are. And lots of meaning behind them as well. Now at the same time, joined live, coming out of North Carolina by Casey Noel. And Casey, just put a question to you just moments ago. Would you consider coming to New Zealand and performing in front of New Zealand audiences?
I would absolutely love to do that. I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. It's been on my bucket list for places to visit. So I would love to, absolutely, 100,000%.
Well, let me put a hole in your bucket, dear Liza, because believe me, we would love to have you come here and perform in front of New Zealand audiences. Even, we could do something with Australia as well. Well, only because we like their money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe about 5 shows here. Say about 8 shows in Australia. We'll bring you back over here again for, some therapy afterwards. We will. You might need some after that. Believe me, they have a funny accent. Actually, do we have a funny accent to you right now?
I love both New Zealand and Australian accents. So I'm sure I have a funny accent to you.
No, no, I'm actually used to American accents.
Yeah, but when you say do I have a Southern accent? Because I don't think I do, but I'm sure I do.
Slightly.
Consensus, folks?
Slightly.
Slightly.
Yeah,
Slightly.
yeah.
It's a girl version.
Yeah.
I don't know. Most people that do the kind of music that I do have very.
Catch up again.
You're going to love this.
And I'm told I have a Southern accent by, like, people from that I have cousins in are Southern accent. So. But that's interesting. But no, your are great. I'm enjoying listening to them.
Nice, nice. Well, I tell you what, I love your accent, I really do, but I speak to Americans so often. It's not funny. I've got actually used to it. Having said that, you might notice in the background there, Old Glory. Yep.
Yes, I do. I noticed that.
Let you in on a little secret. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona.
You were?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, you know, my mother wasn't, and your mother wasn't the only people that knew Americans, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah,
How did you get back to New Zealand?
well, you see, my father was an American Indian, but he was very educated. He was a techo that used to travel around the world helping television stations boost their signal, well, back in the day, we actually only had one TV channel. So he came along and made it possible for another number of more TV channels to be repeated up and down the countryside. Problem with that is, and I'm going to tell you, it really was a problem, was the Vietnam War was going on at the same time, and he got enlisted back to America and then into Vietnam within hours, literally, after he found out. Literally, he was on a plane, he was back in the States, bang, in a uniform, and sent to Vietnam pretty much, you know, straight away, leaving me here because he thought that this was the safest country in the world, and that was World War III in the process. You know what I mean? And believe me, the mentality of that time, you can understand that. So,
Yeah.
I became a New Zealander. And that's how it's been. But I have been back to the States so many times, it's not funny. I've actually met up with my true birth parents again and discussed everything. You know, we've sort of schmoozed it out. Kinda.
That's so. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How you ended up there. Wow.
Yeah, but...
Wow. That's a cool story. That's a song too.
Yeah, but I can't write like you can.
Yeah, you have to send me the whole story, details, and maybe I can write it.
Oh my God, you don't want that. You really don't want it, you don't. But believe me, here's one for you. I got adopted by the craziest Kiwi you could ever have. Yeah, he blew stuff up for a living.
That sounds like in childhood.
But, you know, 5 years of age, he'd take, you know, I'm 5, I'm down coal mines with my father blowing stuff up. And we're talking, back in those days, they used to have ponies, pit ponies, literally, no conveyor belts or anything in those days. The ponies used to pull the buckets up and down, and they had canaries in cages so that if there was any gas, if the canary stopped singing, we're getting out of there. But you know, the whole deal there is, yes, there was methane gas in these mines, and we've got a naked flame carbine lamp on our heads. How stupid's that?
How things have changed.
Chris, people, oh man.
That's what they did for a
Everything's still
living.
pretty. But they didn't, things that like we didn't know that we would just do, and yeah. That's crazy. But I feel like that's every little boy's dream, to be around things blowing up.
Yes.
Believe me,
I don't know.
I am trained in explosives, in every form of explosives you would ever want to think about. And believe me, by the age of 9, I was doing open cast mines where rifle charges, blowing stuff up by myself because Dad, well, he was in the smoko shed with the rest of the guys as I'm doing it.
Wow, that's crazy.
He's getting paid, and I'm not. But I'm doing all the work. He had it sorted. You really did. So, believe me, if you're ever familiar with the movie Crocodile Dundee,
Yeah.
okay, well, that was like my father, complete with the hat
Okay.
and the cigar. That,
Really?
yeah, believe me, that was like my dad. It really, really was. Us people down this kind of the world, you know, we're kind of crazy. We really are. And
Great thing.
Casey, if you're going to come to New Zealand, and I've got to give a warning right away because we are crazy. I'm giving you a heads up right now. But we do have a few challenges. Are you up for a couple of challenges while you're here?
I love challenge.
Okay. All right. This is going to be fun, actually. Have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
Here we go.
No.
Okay, I will make sure that Barbara sends you the instructional videos, okay? But the indigenous folks here of New Zealand, the Maori, even today still have these as a delicacy. I've got to be honest with you, it's, well, you're familiar with a caterpillar, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I know what a grub is, so.
Okay, well this is a, well, you know, it's kind of like a double-decker bus to a mini. It's big, it's white, it's got a black head. Now what you do is when you put the live body in your mouth, rip off the head. Don't eat the head, it's yucky. But when you crunch down on this, it's like eating creamy peanut butter.
It tastes like peanut butter, or the texture is like peanut butter?
Both.
Okay. That's the worst taste that it could taste like.
You're thinking
If
about
it if it makes, I don't know, it's that terrifies me. But if I had to, and have to.
Well, I tell you what, Casey, believe me, you got to wonder about the guy's mentality that's handing you a bowl of these things and wanting you to eat one, right?
Well,
That'll be
they
grand
have to eat
handing
one
it to them.
first, so I know that it's safe.
Well, don't worry about it. I will be the guy handing you the bowl, and yes, I will do one with you.
Okay, all right.
But we might need a bit of alcohol. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I definitely would need the alcohol to do that. for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, probably before, during, and after as well. But believe me, we will send you the video of that just to make sure that, you know, I'm not pulling your leg. We can and have and do these things here in New Zealand. But you see, New Zealand's made up of 3 islands. Right down the very, very bottom is a place called Stewart Island, a little island, if you know what I mean. And then whoever named this place ran out of a, you know, they couldn't think for, well, they called the next one South. You know what I mean? And then following south, we got North Island. Got there. You know what I mean? Yay. I want to actually rename it, to be very honest with you. I'd like to, well, you know, I want to rename the moon as well. I really do. You know, well, think about it, Casey. I mean, we're finding more habitable planets in the universe every day these days. More, you know, Goldilocks style planets, and some of them have got moons. And audaciously, us, the scientists, the humans here, we name these planets and moons, not thinking maybe they might actually have a name already and somebody else has done it, but, you know, we do. We name these places, but our moon is called Moon. Yeah.
Oh,
I want to rename it. What about Celestial Body Brian? I reckon that would sound good on a check anyway.
he used
Yeah.
to say so.
I think that's it. I think you found it.
There you go. Neil Armstrong visited Celestial Body Brian. I like that. I do. But I do like to rename things. Now, down the South Island, on the west coast of the South Island, you're familiar with festivals where kids wander around, candy floss, hot dogs, all that sort of thing. Yeah, not there, actually. There they kind of deep fry things that really shouldn't be deep fried, including doing the hoo-hoo grub.
See, I feel like I could eat it if it was fried a little easier.
Okay, well, we
I
could
don't
do
think
that.
that it should be, but I feel like you can't really mess up something that's fried.
Like deep frying ice cream.
I've never had deep fried ice cream, but I'm intrigued.
That's interesting. It really, really is because it's lovely.
More of them.
It sounds lovely.
The girls here are all going, yes, you gotta try that. It's, have you deep fried a Mars bar?
No.
Oh, yeah. Give it a go. Honest. Batter, deep fried. Bang.
Deep fried camembert.
Yeah, deep fried camembert even.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, you see, we're kind of inventive here in New Zealand. We like to try things that other people wouldn't even think of and give it the deep fried.
I love things that are fried. Most Americans do, but apparently you have better stuff if you have deep fried ice cream, because I'm pretty sure we don't have that.
Believe me.
And I'm really sad that I haven't heard of it before and I've never tried it. So.
Well, I can recommend it. I really, really can. Google it.
I'm going to as soon as this is over.
Find out how to do it. Believe me, it is an experience that is absolutely phenomenal. You've really got to give it a go.
Now I have to go to New Zealand.
You have to. You just got to come here and try these things. You really do.
But now it's a necessity.
Nice. Now, have you ever heard of a place called Queenstown?
I have, yes.
Okay, not Queensland. That's in Australia. That's the place where all the guys wear dresses.
Yes.
Yeah. No, Queenstown is a place where, well, you know, Shania Twain actually owns property down there.
Love Shania Twain. When I was little, I was like, she was I loved her. That's so cool.
Well, she is and does have property down in Queenstown. It's a kind of a boutique town come city, and believe me, flying in there is a bit of a problem because wall-to-wall wall, if you know what I mean. Turbulence like crazy, hell of a lot of fun going in there, it really, really is. It's up and down, bang, and before you know it, you landed, and I've actually seen men, grown men, kissing the ground as they got out of the plane afterwards. It's that funky to get in there. But
You can always try.
I tell you what, Kevin Costner was down there not so long ago. Tom Cruise, there was what's his name? Keanu Reeves, wasn't it? Yeah, they all go there. You know, it's a place where they run away from the wives and get away from their mates and take their friends. You know what I mean?
I got it.
So you never know who you might bump into while you're down there. But I got to be honest with you, you don't want to bump into me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll throw you off a bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, we have a big thing down there called bungee jumping.
Oh. See, I've gone zip lining in Costa Rica. I've done that. But I don't know how I would do bungee jumping. I hate that feeling like the stomach drop.
That's flying into the place. Come on, after that you'll be able to do anything.
That's true. You're right. After that, that would probably seem like a piece of cake. You're right.
Well, I've got to be honest with you. I've flown in there myself. And Air New Zealand is fantastic at flying into the place. I had this guy beside me, white knuckling it, literally, sweat pouring off him, and he's looking at me going, "Are we going to crash?" I'm going, "Don't worry about it. It'll take us straight to the scene of the crime." What are we going to do? Don't worry about it.
At that point, if you were going to crash, you
Yeah.
can't do anything about it now.
Well, the only time to worry is when you see parachutes and they're not yours.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's the time to worry. But believe me, down there, and you're not Australian, we'll attach the bungee, okay?
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Do you like wine?
I do like wine, yeah.
Right. Well, New Zealand's got some absolutely world-class wine, and we would love to be able to take you around a couple of wineries that we are very good friends of, if you know what I mean. Check out, next time you go for a wine buy, look at New Zealand wines and check out one called Montana. You will love it.
Okay.
You really will.
I love
Awesome.
New Zealand vineyards are beautiful.
Oyster Bay.
Now, have you ever heard of Lord of the Rings?
Yes, I have.
Okay, well, besides the producer Peter Jackson, or Sir Peter Jackson, I actually went to university with the guy, so I know him quite well, to be very honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great.
And I can recommend some of his university movies before he became famous. I can, if you're well.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, one's called Bad Taste. Yeah, and it is. Okay, the other one is. Believe me, it really is. So look up Peter Jackson Bad Taste movie. You'll find it. And the other one is Meet the Feebles. And that's like the Muppets. Adult version.
Okay.
Adult version. Okay. So I can recommend those. And those were the days when I used to hang out with him, or he hung out with me, because I was doing radio and sound and all that. And he was into television. Yeah, or making movies. Anyway, about an hour and a half from where this office is right here is actually the original set of Hobbiton.
Wow.
Now, we would love to be able to take you in, show you around, have some fun on that. Well, you know, the rest of the staff will be able to. I'm not allowed in.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently I still owe them one of those security golf carty things.
It's in the lake.
It's in the lake. It is
in the
too. Oops. Well, you know, having too much fun with somebody else's property, I suppose they kind of frown on that, don't they?
Yeah.
Got to admit, Casey, if you're going to hang out with me, bail money.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a little bit. You know what I mean? We got good lawyers, but, you know, just a bit of money, just in case. Yeah?
For sure.
Because I am up for shenanigans like you wouldn't believe. Have you ever heard of a Zorb?
No.
This is fun. More alcohol involved, literally, and yeah, big, clear, round plastic ball, right? We'll do this in the summertime. It's the best time to do concerts anyway. Put you inside it, roll you down the hill. Love that look.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we'll put some runners in front of you, right? So it's like now.
There's a stopping of the rolling down the hill.
Okay.
Yeah, there is an end.
I think I could do that. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's more my style than bungee jumping.
Nice. Well, you know, well, if you need to go for a tandem, I don't mind doing the bungee jumping as well, because AJ Hackett, well, he's a good friend of mine. You know what I mean? Done it many, 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 many times, and believe me, after you've done it once, you will want to do it again. It becomes addictive.
I can see that.
It does. The adrenaline rush the first time around, it's like these people who take drugs. You know what I mean? They first hit, bang. Well, same with bungee jumping. And believe me, I've been doing it for about 35 years now. And absolutely love, love, love every time. I really do. The Zorb, well, yes, we'll put some runners in front of you. Why I say alcohol is when you run over them, well, the looks on their faces is priceless, actually. It is. It really is. There's moisture, water inside there, so, well, you know, there's extra moisture or water inside there when you get out. Well, we got a hose, don't worry about it, you'll be right. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're civil. We do have hoses these days.
We do.
Don't wear grass skirts anymore.
No, don't.
Much. I haven't worn a grass skirt in years.
No, okay.
Yeah, believe me, the Maoris, grass skirts, you'll understand when you come here. We will show you a little bit about Maori culture. Now, about an hour's drive from where we are right now is a place called Rotorua, which is traditionally a Maori tourist city and has places like Hell's Gate. Now, you may be familiar with Yellowstone National Park, the bubbles and the geysers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what Rotorua is all about, the whole city. It's like geysers and bubbly muds everywhere, throughout the city, literally.
That's cool.
Well, yeah, it is, but I tell you what, the sulphur smell can be overwhelming from time to time, I've got to be honest with
You
you.
don't want to fall in.
But it's a great place, it really is, including Lake Rotorua. And we'll probably take you for a flight around Rotorua as well, the lake on the...
Okay.
Would we do the helicopter or would we do the boat, seaplane?
Oh,
Which one?
both.
Or the boat? Or
I like the boat.
Believe me, it's...
Up, by the way. So, any time you can show me animals, I'm happy.
Animals.
or interact with animals, I'm happy.
Okay.
Right, my
well,
sheep-
sheep will eat bread out of a hand. if she
okay. Well,
wants.
I tell you what. I will let you loose at Barbara's house.
Okay,
Well, she's got a farm.
if there's okay.
Okay, she's got sheep
makes
and all sorts of things there. Believe me, she won't let me ride the sheep.
You're too big. Big lump.
She really won't let me ride the sheep.
Anyway,
But she does have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful farm. Absolutely picturesque. It really, really is. By the way, getting there, going down the coast, awesome. Really, really is. You've got the sea on one side. You've got an active volcano in the background. Literally, it is stunning. It really is on the way to Barbara's place. She sees us every day, going to and from work. I'm jealous. She's got a wonderful
Better
place.
coming than
I'm
going.
just, I feel like if I just saw more green stuff every day and more nature, I would be happier. I'm a happy person already, but anytime I'm like around really green places, I'm like, it's refreshing.
Well, I tell you what, we'll take you down the Marlborough Sound. Down there, it's like time forgot. Dinosaurs walking through the place. It is so. Well, I hesitate to use the word surreal because I've been using surreal with COVID virus quite a lot lately. It really has. But down there is so surreal. It really is. It's like time literally have forgot it. We'll take you down there as well. You'll love it. You really will. And I dare anybody to prove me wrong.
Nice segue. That was good.
Yeah, bang. Tell me about Prove Me Wrong.
So Prove Me Wrong is kind of a fun song. I kind of wrote it about I'm a very nice person, and growing up I thought that all people were really nice, and as I've gotten older I've realized that a lot of people are not that nice, and that a lot of people who seem nice on first impression are not that way. So I kind of wrote it about the fact that whether you're meeting someone that you think is going to be a friend or someone that you might have a relationship with of some sort, and they seem great, I kind of wrote it as I hope you actually are this great. Prove me wrong, because there's been a lot of people that I've met that seem great, and then they show their true colors. So it's kind of just a little sassy song about how sometimes people suck.
Well, it's true. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, live with Casey Noel, and Prove Me Wrong.
Hey, Alan.
I'm
We have
sorry.
Cheryl Arnold with us.
Cheryl Arnold's with us. Hello, Cheryl. How's the are you still touring? Are they still bussing?
I'm not sure.
Ah.
You'll have to leave us a message.
Yeah, absolutely. How's the guys and everybody on tour? I'm jealous. I would love to be on that bus with you guys. I would. And if you ever need a lawyer, I know one. If you need a therapist, I know one of them too. In fact, by the time I was finished with the therapist, I think she needed a therapist. It's true.
That's when you need to know another one.
Yeah,
You
well,
should have a therapist that you're friends with, so then they can all help each other after talking with you.
exactly.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went to Jacksonville, Florida?
I have never been
Have
to
you not?
Jacksonville.
Have you not? Well, I'll tell you what. I have a friend of mine that has a TV station there that would love to do an interview with you.
I would love that.
Can't you speak Puerto
Yeah.
Rican?
Can you speak Puerto Rican?
I can speak a little bit of Spanish.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. Well,
And I speak pretty well.
he's also, Puerto Rican, Spanish.
Tornado warning issued in the Carolinas.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think that's what's going on with any pauses.
Yeah.
Because we've had really bad weather all weekend, pretty much.
Right,
That's
right.
a
Well,
tornado
that'll
warning.
explain it, literally. And thank you for putting up with us as well. With
Oh,
this.
this is so fun.
Oh, God. I feel sorry for you.
I don't feel sorry for me.
Nice. How we going over there? We good?
Yeah, we go.
Nice.
I've got heaps.
You got heaps.
Good.
Awesome. Believe me, the voice in my head will probably friend you on Facebook. Her name is Not Enough, and give you some photos and stuff like. You'll get copies of everything we do. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Um, and some crazy photos after we do this. Also, we'll do a quick video because we'll put you on our homepage.
Okay.
People go there. Believe me, with the amount of people that's watching and listening to us right now, they go through our website. They have a look at everything. You know what I mean? I feel very oogled sometimes. Casey? I do. Yeah, but they go and have a look on there, and before you know it, now you've got another 5,000 Twitter fans, and well, you'll get nothing done now.
Hey.
It's good of it, yes.
Finish out this song. The road goes on and on. We're bound to hit bumps. Can you hang on? Oh, I hope you're strong.
107 Galaxy.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, joined live, coming out of North Carolina by Casey Noel. And Casey, I want to talk about Doug Williams. Tell me a little bit about Doug.
Doug is my sound engineer. I recorded at his studio, and he co-produced my EP with me. He's one of the most talented, kindest human beings that I think I've ever met. I'm so glad that I met him through doing this EP. He was the perfect person for me to really help make my music how I wanted, and I'd never played with a band, so going into that project, it was a lot of fun experimenting with what I wanted on each song, instrument-wise, and he just really gave me the space and the confidence to create. So it was a great experience working with him.
That's really, really cool. As an engineer, it's always nice to be able to give a prop every now and again for fellow engineers in the market. They never get enough accolade, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And
Any chance I get to talk about how awesome he is, I love it, because he's a very humble. He's just very humble. He doesn't talk about himself enough, in my opinion, because he's great. He actually just recorded. I don't know if you know who the Avett brothers are.
no.
They're very. If you look them up, they're very, very, very popular. And he just did their most recent album. He was the studio engineer. But yeah, he's amazing.
Nice. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to get my get my crew onto that and gear up and have a look at that, because believe me, always interested in other music, you know what I mean, and other people's view on music. Now, having said that, Casey, we were discussing getting you down here in New Zealand, playing in front of New Zealand audiences, and I think, quite frankly, you would absolutely kill it here in New Zealand. I really, really do. We want to be a part of that. But at the same time, well, we have a bit of a hang-up.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got this COVID virus thing going, and it's kind of stuck us up a little bit. But, you know, Casey, this is your most requested song here at Galaxy. We play this every morning on The Breakfast Show. People, well, they're just requesting it. Believe me, 1,844 people so far have requested the hang-up. Why is it so successful? Tell me all about this.
I don't know. Apparently New Zealand likes that song, and I'm very happy about it. But that is the song that I'm really happy with. I wrote it sort of at the end of a relationship, when I was at that point where I was pretty much over it, but then sometimes I'd be thinking about things and being like, why am I still thinking about this person? I think I should be over them completely. So I kind of wrote it about that frustration. And then I kind of just, I sort of started off with the metaphor of like the phone and it's still ringing and stuff like that. And so I tried to add other little metaphors throughout, like in the chorus. And it was just a fun one to kind of get creative on. And I think it's a fun one to listen to because of those kind of catchy lines that pop out.
63% women, would you believe, are requesting this, and repeat offenders every morning, by the way, wanting the hang-up right here at Galaxy. And believe me, love, love, love this track. You're at Galaxy 107 FM. Good morning. You're relating to people.
That's all I want with music, so that means a lot to me. Just for people to, I don't know, I think I write music I always write music that I want to hear, so I want it to be, people relate to it and feel it, and it makes them happy, or they can feel whatever I'm feeling in the moment, so that makes me so happy.
Well, Casey, I've got to say, I'm absolutely elated. I hope the interview itself was good for you. I don't want you to go anywhere just yet because we are going to do a couple of things, but I just got to thank you so much. A, for contacting us, B, for being here and being a part of it, and C, for writing the music that you're writing at the moment. Will you come back again?
I would love to. Yeah, anytime. Just let me know.
Oh, you're sadistic as well. I love it.
And I would love to actually come to New Zealand in person, so
well,
hopefully that'll happen.
I have one question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever been signed by a label?
I haven't, no.
Would you consider it?
I would consider it, but it would take a lot of consideration, because I'm very, I want to make sure that I have like full control over what I'm writing and putting out.
Tell you what.
And yeah, I'm just very careful.
Tell you what, Casey, and believe me, there's no harm in talking. Fair play?
This is why I said I would be interested, but, you know, I think it would be something I talk about and really...
Let me just say to you, I have a friend, my one and only friend that I have in the world, literally, but he's English, okay?
Okay.
He comes out of Devon in England, and he knows his stuff. Now the thing is that I don't introduce very many people to John because he does know his stuff. That's his business. I have my own business.
Yeah.
We don't sort of step on each other's toes until I find somebody that I'm really, really excited about. And then I'll give him a little tap on the shoulder and say, will you look at this person for me because I think you might be interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what I do is I get Barbara to set up a group chat thing. I have my say, Barbara has her say, we leave you guys to get to know each other. Whatever happens from there, happens from there. That's my disclaimer right there, okay?
Yeah.
But I will tell you more about him after this, okay? But he really is powerful.
Okay, awesome.
And I wish I wasn't hungry on you. Galaxy FM.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and let me just turn that up a little. Yep, 15 after 12 o'clock, it is 17 degrees. Heading for a high, my high of 20 degrees. Believe me, we've gone past the weatherman's prediction. He never gets it right anyway, we know that. But I think 20 degrees, reasonable today. 22, not going to make it. No, Barbara's lost that one today, guarantee it. It really, really won't get there. It's Monday, October the 12th, and joined live coming out of Carolinas, North Carolina. Believe me, I've been there a number of times just recently, really have. Got some very good friends there, Jodie Medford, and Michelle Lee. Diamonds and Whiskey, yeah, Jennifer Webb. All of you guys out of there, what are you doing? Because believe me, it must be something in jars because we get so much talent out of your area that is absolutely fantastic. And believe me, Casey Noel is no exception. She's going to be a star in the making. And I believe that. I really do. Get behind Casey Noel. Go and check her out on Facebook. Go and look at her on Instagram and all the webby places. Have a look. Follow this lady because she is tomorrow's music played today right here at Galaxy. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget, YouTube. Yeah, you know what to do. Sub, thumb, bell, bingo. Have a good day. Casey Noel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. This was so much fun. So much fun.
Now, I've got to ask you, will you come back again? Will you release new music with us? Will you be sadistic enough to want to put yourself through this again?
For sure, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Don't go anywhere just yet. We've got a couple of more things we're going to do, but right now, heading over to Studio B, here's Brooke Fraser.
She grew up in a tiny shack that her daddy built a long way back, tucked away into some old marshland in an old beach town. They got lost in the sand. Her daddy drank and he got real mad. She remembers seeing her mama said when he came home from his day, her mama told her to stay away. So she learned to talk with the seagulls. She loved to run where the tides go. The ocean wind sent shivers down her spine, but that's what made her feel alive. She grew up all on her own. She had to teach herself everything she knows. She was a wild beauty that no one really got to see. She rarely went into town. The marshes where she could be found, tucked away behind the trees, was the only place that she felt free. 'Cause she spent her time with the seagulls. She loved to run where the tides go. The ocean wind